7-4, factoring using GCF day 2. Okay, so we did a lot of practice over GCF factoring. We did a lot of delta math over it and practice. Today is day 2 of it. So the first problem is a little bit of a review problem. What about 2 and 3? What do you notice is different? Good. We've got 2 variables today. Okay, and we'll talk about what that means in a minute. But first it says factor each polynomial. Okay, so the steps are on the board, 1 through 4. The steps don't change today. Nothing really changes. Okay, everything you're doing is the exact same routine, the same steps. Step 1 is find the GCF. So I'm going to write GCF on the side. So everybody should have GCF written over there. If I write it, you write it. Okay, if I write dividing by, you write dividing by. Anything that I put on my notes, you have to have on your notes. Okay? All right. Now, when I'm trying to find the GCF of all 3 numbers, I take the smallest number, which is what? 2. Okay? 2 is the smallest number. And I'm going to write out the factors of 2, which are all the numbers that multiply together to get 2 are 1 and 2. Okay. Now, we're trying to find the greatest factor, the greatest common factor. What's my greatest factor of 2? 2. So can 2 go into 2? Can 2 go into 6? Can 2 go into 4? Yes, so that is my GCF. Do they all have a common variable? Do they all have x? No. Can x be a part of my GCF? No, because they don't all have it. Okay? All right, what's step 2 say? You should be writing. Write the GCF outside the parentheses. So just like this. Everybody should have this on their paper. Everything that I have. Step 3 is what? Divide. Okay, this part right here is where I've noticed people are not writing. When you start getting into multiple variables, it is so hard to visualize this step right here in your head. You need to get in the habit of always writing out the division, just like this. Okay? So I want to see all of this on your paper. Now we're going to divide 1 division problem at a time. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then I have an x squared and nothing on the bottom, so what do I do with the x squared? Bring it down. Then I go to the next division problem. 6 divided by 2 plus 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. X on top, no x on bottom, so this needs to be a 3x. Bring it down. Last one, negative 4 divided by 2. Negative 2. And if we were going to check this, how would I check it? No, distribute it. Okay, if you want to check it, you can distribute it. Please stop. You're distracting me. Oh. Thank you. Okay, example 2. All right, like I said, exact same steps. Step 1, find the GCF. Okay, what's smaller, 3 or 12? 3. And I want to write out the factors of 3, which are all the numbers that multiply to get 3 are 1 and 3. And I want the greatest common factor, the greatest one. So I'm going to start with the biggest one here is 3. Can 3 go into 3? Can 3 go into 12? Yes, so my GCF is 3. Okay, where it's different. Do they have any common variables?
X and Y.
They both have x and y. So start with x. What else do I have to ask myself if it's a common variable? The smallest exponent. So look at your x's. I've got x squared and x to the 1, right? Invisible 1. So which one is smaller, 2 or 1? 1. So this needs to be just regular x with an invisible 1. Then you said they also have y in common. So I have to figure out which y has the smallest exponent, 1 or 2? 1. So this is going to be regular y with an invisible 1. Okay, step 2, write your GCF outside the parentheses. Step 3, divide it. So now everybody needs to write this part, 3xy under both. Then we're going to divide one at a time. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay. Then I've got a 2 exponent and a 1 exponent. What's 2 minus 1? 1. So how many x's am I going to have? Just regular x. Then my y's is 1 minus 1 gives me 0. So if I get 0, do I write a y? No. Okay. Then we move to the next set. 12 divided by 3. Positive 4. Then I look at the x's. 1 minus 1. 0. So do I write an x? No. Then I do the y's. 2 minus 1. 1. So just regular y. Understand? Okay, let me tell you this because I've seen some people kind of mess this up. However many factors you have, however many terms you have. So how many terms do I have here? 1, 2, 3. So then I have to have 3 terms inside the parentheses. Okay? How many terms do I have on example 2? 2. So how many terms do I need in the parentheses? 2. Okay? Everybody understand? All right? Okay, number 3. Last one. Step 1. Find your GCF. Okay, what's smallest number? 6. What are my factors of 6? 1 times 6 gives me 6. What else could be multiplied to get 6? 2 and 3 multiply together to give me 6. You with me? Okay. Start with your greatest factor of 6. Can 6 go into 6? Yes. Can 6 go into 15? No. So can 6 be the greatest common factor? No. Cross it out. Then move to 3. Can 3 go into 6? Yes. Can 3 go into 15? Yes. Can 3 go into 27? Yes. Yes. So my GCF is 3. Do they have any common variables? Maybe. A and B. Start with A. Okay. Smallest exponent for my A's is a 1, a 2, and a 1. So it's 1. So I'm just going to leave an invisible 1 up here. Then you said B. Smallest exponent, 2, 2, or 3? 2. So this B's got to be squared, because that's the smallest exponent. A lot of us today that I've noticed, my kids so far, are forgetting to take the smallest exponent. They get in a habit, because a lot of the smallest exponents are 1, right? So they get in the habit of just writing the letter. But you also have to pay attention to whatever the smallest exponent is. Okay. Step 2, write your GCF outside the parentheses. 3ab squared. Leave that right with me. Focus. Step 3, divide by it. So under each one of these, I need to write 3ab squared, 3ab squared, 3ab squared. Are you writing? Did you write that? You wrote all 3 division problems. All right, one at a time. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Then do the A's. 1 minus 1 is 0. So do I write an A? No. Cameron, are you writing? 2 minus 2 is 0. Do I write a B? No. Go to your next problem. 15 divided by 3. Positive 5. Do your A's. 2 minus 1.
0.
1. So how many A's do I have? Regular A.
Oh.
Then the B's. 2 minus 2 is 0. Do I write a B? Giselle, are you writing? Then I do the third one. 27 divided by 3. Positive 9. Do the A's. 1 minus 1. 0. Do I write A?
No.
B's. 3 minus 2. 1. Regular B. How many terms did I start with? 1, 2, 3. How many terms are in my parentheses? 1, 2, 3. Okay, you have to ask me 3 questions about this before I hand you your practice.
What is it hard?
About the notes. Specifically about the notes.
Okay, so you like run it like this, you know, the GCF. So when you do the A, B, and all that stuff, you have to find the lowest one, right?
Yes.
Would there be like 3 of the A, B, C?
There could be. Yeah. There could be a problem with A, B, and C on there. There could be a problem with A through Z. There's not, but there could be. Okay, so it doesn't matter, or there's not a limit on variables in the problem.
The highest number.
3 probably.
Would there be a problem?
No.
Great question.
Okay, what's your question? About notes, please.
You already did then 2.
Yeah, 1 per person though.
Oh, so me.
Do we have to do the GCF?
Come on, we need.
Yes, I want you to write it out. But that's not about notes. So ask me a question specifically about the notes.
I already asked one.
Somebody ask another one.
No, each one asked one.
Okay, so look at the notes and try to figure out a problem that might happen. See what might confuse you if you were to do something like this.
Oh, you don't.
Can you turn it into a question? Can you turn it into a question? No. You can't go to the bathroom until you do 5 anyways. One more. Come on. Shh. Hey, that's inappropriate. One more. Look at your notes.
Can there be parentheses on the finish from the start?
No. Only in the answer. Okay, here, let me ask you this question. Let's say I had this problem, right? Okay, what if this 27 didn't have a B on it? Would B be a part of my GCF?
No.
Okay, so just because there's a B in the problem, they all have to have it in common in order for it to be a GCF. Okay, just like this. Did they all have X? No. So is X part of my GCF? No. Okay. There's going to be a problem on the practice where it's got a lot of letters in there, but if they don't all have the same letter, it can't be part of the GCF. That makes sense? Are you with me?
So then the third question.
Yes, I'll help you with the third question. Okay. Anybody else?